YouTube stream. You have to subscribe to YouTube. So, already had a couple people in here. Thank you for following in the questions. We're trying to captivate it in. So, not going to be long. Welcome to KhAn Sunday School as always. Here to talk about a couple different things for you guys as far as the liver go, right? Yes. To answer the question, dry hands. If you have dry hands, specifically the fingers, you need omega-3. Yes. If you have those white marks that you're speaking about on your nails, they don't come from damage exactly. It could be a deficiency in zinc. So, that's good to keep in mind as far as your nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. If your eyes are yellow, as you're speaking about, or you have any problems with the eyes in general, but if they're yellowish, orangish, brownish, that's a bowel buildup. That's in the intestines. We need to do a detox. So, and that's kind of what we get on today. It's falls into place. So, good questions so far. But to go into the liver, right? So, the first things I want to remind us is that the body will heal itself. It's very intelligent. It will detoxify itself as well. Your job, being the driver of this body, of this vehicle, is to make sure you're having the right nutrients so the organs can communicate with each other in the proper way. Once the nutrients or reach deficiency levels, once acidity level rises, you don't have proper pH balances, this is when the organs stop communicating with each other correctly. And this is where the complications come in at. So I'm going to name some foods and herbs that can help, of course, but I want to start off by talking about what's happening, right? So what is going on with the liver? Like, what's the duty of the liver? We must understand what's going on so we can, or how it functions so we can understand if it is a problem, how is it taking place, right? So when we start talking about the liver, I like to break it up in like 3 different waves or 3 different phases or stages, correct? Now, the first phase I call the breaker stage, right? So it's going to attract, call, pull, draw. It's going to bring toxins all that you have all over the body. It's going to attract it in the liver. It's not going to store it in the liver. And this is when we have a lot of different complications. It's not going to store the toxins in the liver, but it will call the toxins from all over the body to the liver. Now, what toxins are we speaking about? Because people always, disuse the information, right? There's gonna be all different types of toxins. This world is very, very toxic in general as far as environment and atmosphere, right? So this can be a large level of different toxins we can run into. Pollution, chemicals in the air, and also secondhand smoke from different cigarettes, commercial cigarettes, not the Native American cigarettes, the commercial cigarettes. They have mercury, aluminum, different things like that. When those chemicals are being burnt in cigarettes, and different nicotines and different things like that, that's pollution as well. So that's where the secondhand smoke problems come in at, and that's where the toxins of that secondhand smoke, that's what it is. So you also have plastics. When you're drinking water bottles and different things like that, BPA free. That's why you see that. The plastics have toxins. If you have any, you need to be burning all plastic you could possibly can. If you have any plastic, you need to be reusing that container. You don't throw away plastic in the trash. You need to be burning that. Damn the city laws. You need to be burning that plastic. Do not let it don't throw it away, or don't even recycle it, because we don't need to reuse it. We need to try to get rid of plastic and go towards glass containers and different things like that. But don't let me get draped off. But yes, plastics, pollution, caffeine, even, and drugs. Now, when we talking about drugs, I'm talking about unclean cannabis that has pesticides. I'm speaking about hard narcotics as well, of course. And I'm also speaking about pharmaceuticals. Those are drugs. If you look up the term of drugs, when we get to like the molecule and the chemical-based substances, these are poisons. You have to learn what the level of medication, drug, and poison. There's levels and dosages and other chemicals coming into the concoctions to make these poisons, but they're drugs. They're not medications. So pharmaceuticals in general, we got to keep in mind that it is a toxin. So you have, even if you're using or you're forced to use one of these pharmaceuticals, they're not going to treat, they're not going to cure. But if you're using one of these pharmaceuticals to take away your symptoms of your complication, you must detox that shit right out your body. That's why we offer the Vax Detox Herbal Box Kit now. Get that shit up out your body. So, we must understand that pharmaceuticals is toxins as well. And we can go into a large list of different toxins that we're just able to run into. Also, like GMOs that got chemicals inside the food and different things like that. But phase one, stage one, the breaker. So it's picking up all of those toxins, right? Before it moves on to the gallbladder, what it's going to do, stage two, phase two, I call the mixer. What it's going to do is find B12. It's going to find folate that you have from eating other plants. And it's going to use those vitamins and minerals and substances and make those toxins into a water soluble. So when you can pass them into the gallbladder, it's easier to pass on, right? Now, stage three, phase three, of course, would be elimination, right? But before you get to stage three, you can have a problem. That problem, absolutely, Sandra. Absolutely. It's all connected. So if the pancreas comes after this complication I'm talking now, if complications come, then the pancreas is affected after this stage. That's before the third stage, right? So it's really 4 stages, but only if you have a problem. If you have a problem with the first 2 stages, your organ, your liver, which is the second largest organ, is not communicating right, then you're going to get constipation. The thing about constipation is you have to get rid of it fast as you can, right? This is why purgatives, laxatives, detoxing the organs is very important. You're going to get constipation. And if you get constipation, you're going to get what they call bowel sludge or bowel buildup, correct? This bowel sludge and bowel buildup forms because as it's passing and receiving things, all of those tubes are connected. And the sludge, the bowel could get this slimy film substance. And as it passed through, it could leave that substance behind. Think of like a snail, right? And all of that buildup just builds up. So if you're not coming through there with the apoptosis herbs and anthelmintic herbs and amino acids, problems start to take place. So if you are constipated, how can you tell? You're going to, on your right side of your neck, from where the skull begins all the way to the middle of the shoulder muscle, but it's going to be highly in the middle of the neck. It's going to be stiff. It's going to be sore. And no matter if you even go get massages and acupuncture and reflexology science and different things like that, it won't cure it. It won't treat it. You have to detox the liver to make that symptom go away. If you don't get it in your neck, you're going to get it under your right rib cage. Pain, inflammation, just a very, very uncomfortable feeling under the rib cage. But that's if you're constipated. But if you're not constipated, you'll go to stage 3, correct? Stage 3, of course, like I said, will be elimination. Now, reading your bowel movements will be the next information or knowledge to apply, right? But I speak about the stages of consumption. And this is the importance of understanding the organs. Because if you understand how they function, you understand when to cure them and how to cure them and what exact parts of the body to target. And like I say, if the constipation comes into place, then the pancreas, the gallbladder, the large intestines and small intestines will all be affected at that point. But the liver, has to be in a top communicative equilibrium, right? So, like I say, the body will detoxify itself, specifically the liver. That's what it's made for. It deals with toxins. That's its job. That's its responsibility. So it's built a system to be able to cleanse itself before it can even cleanse the rest of the body. It goes through phases. So once it gets done cleansing the body, it goes back and cleanses itself and repairs itself. You only need about 25% of the liver healthy to restart regenerating cells, rebuilding the liver in general. The phytonutrients in plants is how you heal. Crucifixous or cruciferious, whatever you want to call them, crucifixous vegetables, correct? There's a large level of them. Now, explain them. But phytonutrients that's found in these crucifixous vegetables are responsible for fighting inflammation. It's responsible for reducing fats from the liver. When you have fats built up on the liver, that's when you get fatty liver syndromes and different things like that, correct? So crucifixous vegetables, Khan, what is that? Exactly, Sandra. Kale. You got broccoli. You got cauliflower. You got arugula. You got a large list of these. I've spoken about it before. You should only use these vegetables when you have a complication with the organ. You shouldn't just be loading up on broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts just to eat them like regular vegetables. Just like that's why you see Dr. Sebi or Elijah Muhammad talk about kale is bad for you. These plants are too strong. These are the real medicines. They're too strong. Remember I said medication, drugs, poison. You find it in nature as well. So that's something to keep in mind, that you can even overdose on herbs, fruit, and vegetables. You have to have a balance. These over-the-top extreme vegans is taking it to a level to where they're not even studying. They're just trying to gather up a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables. And you shouldn't even eat a large level of fruits together because the alkalinity levels and the pH balances will just not collide. You won't even get a large level of different nutrients. But these phytonutrient plants, these crucifixous vegetables, they're going to reduce a stress hormone called cortisol. This cortisol, like I said, is a stress hormone. It is going to oxidate the body. It's going to commit a large level of stress on these different organs to make them overworked, to get them dehydrated, to make them not even want to respond to other signals that the other organs are sending off. Just like you're stressed, right? You got all this shit going on. And you don't want to hear about nobody else's problems right now until you handle yours. It's the same thing your organs is doing. If you are damaging one organ, it's not going to want to talk or have a communication on a high equilibrium. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So, and yes, no. When it comes to proteins and different things like that, it's a long conversation. I got other videos about protein. I don't want to get draped off on it. But anytime we deal with any protein, understand that it's not valuable. You don't need a large level of it. So, let's just stick to what we stick to. So when you have when your liver is damaged by toxins, you get AST. When you have the fatty liver, like I said, when fats build up on the liver, you get ALT. ALP is when a part of constipation I'm speaking about. When you have bile ducts, those tubes in there receiving and sending gets clogged up. So you have to worry about three major complications: toxins, fats, and that comes with carbs and different things like that, and proteins, and bile buildup. Detoxing. It's going to start with the toxins. The toxins is not going to let it filter the correct way. Acids and fats is going to build up on the liver, and it's going to start moving slower. And then the liver ducts are going to start, or the bile ducts, is going to start getting clogged. So what helps? Because that's why we're here, right? We can speak about this all day. But what helps? A lot of people complain about it, but study George Washington Carver and understand his disclaimers. about soy. No soy, no way when you have a liver complication. We need to keep that in mind. The number one herb, milk thistle. Milk thistle has glutathione. Glutathione is a alkaloid. It is a compound that works with the liver and the cellular health, and it's going to detox it. It's going to replenish the cellular walls in the liver, correct? It's going to inject it into apoptosis. So any toxic cells that you do have will get eradicated before they can really make an impression on the liver. So milk thistle is the top. Of course, you have dandelion. Dandelion can be used as a diuretic. This dandelion is going to help the constipation, the third or fourth stage of this. Milk thistle is going to start, at the toxins as soon as they get received as they bring them down from the liver. But the dandelion is going to help further gallbladder and digestion and different things like that. So you have broccoli, right? Broccoli is a cruciferous vegetable, and it helps, but you need the broccoli sprouts. The broccoli sprouts extract poisons from the body of the cells, and it doesn't extract it, it makes it harmless. Remember I told you that it's going to add folate and B12 to toxins and make them water solubles? As they become in that process, they become less harmful, less toxic. So if they do end up sitting there for longer because you have a bad diet, you're eating trash. So intelligently, even if you had these minerals or these substances, your body or these these phytonutrients will do the same thing. So it will make those toxins harmless. Now you got beets. Different ways you can do the beets. Chop off the top of the beets and add them in them salads. They got great amino acids and different things like that as far as the conversation, but beets in general. However you want to eat these beets, they're going to deal with the bowel, and they're also going to deal with fatty liver. But you got sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is at least 1 cup of it will boost vitamin C. This will help the fatty liver as well. This will keep fats from building on the liver. Also, garlic. Garlic is perfect for many different things. But garlic has sulfur. You also got sulfate. Both of these will help detoxify the body as well. And this goes to the kale and the rest of the cruciferous vegetables of how they detoxify the body and put different things into purgative methods. The reasons why we put oils on the salads, right, is it helps digestion. This is making the toxins or helping the toxins become soluble as well. But this is fat soluble. It's a little bit different, and the body works on digestion a little different. This will help extract, putting the oil on the kale, on the arugula, on the spinach will help extract nutrients from these raw leaves, these raw vegetables more easier. So you need to find all major healthy oils. I'm not going to get too deep into it because we talk about oils all day, but just to kind of move on, to that. So we must keep these things in mind. If you remember, we spoke about the 5 different foods: sour, sweet, spicy, etc. Sour and bitter foods, lemons, limes, etc. These are perfect for cleaning the liver. I also spoke about freezing, correct? Just to go back to the bitter and sour because I don't want to get too ahead. The bitter and sour can also cool down the body, right? So it regulates the body, it controls the body. We have a hormone disbalance most of the time. Now, as far as hormones, I don't want to put too many